Want to live longer and better? I'm Dr. Jess, I'm a physical therapist, and in this podcast, I bring you real, science-backed strategies from physical health providers, mental health providers, and nutrition experts, so you can build strength, protect your mind, and fuel your body for decades to come. Longevity starts here. Welcome back this week, and talking about longevity, one of the number one things that we need to know to live those longer quality years is to know more about stress and what in the world that does to our bodies and our mindset. And so with us today, I've got a mental health counselor. Her name is Sarah, and she's going to help us understand from the mental health perspective what we can do to, one, identify stress. Are you chronically stressed? And what can we do about it? So Sarah, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah. So like she said, I'm Sarah. I am a marriage and family therapist licensed here in Florida. I've been practicing for too long. No, I've been practicing since I would say about 2016. I have worked from youth crisis centers to youth on probation to just regular people coming in stressed out, dealing with depression, anxiety, dealing with different illnesses. And now I get to be here working in a physical therapist office with Jess and all of our wonderful coworkers and learning more about how the physical side of stress comes out. So hopefully today we can educate y'all on how the mental side comes out and hopefully protecting you from that before it gets too far.
And as anybody that's listened to me speak before knows, a lot of what I do in the physical health is helping people understand how the mental health component really is crucial in order to get them feeling their best.
Mm-hmm.
And identifying it can be hard. And so Sarah, what are some of the common ways that you help people even identify, is stress something that is negatively impacting me?
Right. So the first thing I always ask is, how is your routine changing? What does your day-to-day normally look like, and what is it looking like now? So usually we go back a couple weeks, usually no more than a month, because honestly, outside of that, if you're already stressed, it's going to be really hard for you to think about what went on even past a month ago. So we usually look at routine. If you're an exerciser, how that has changed. Are you walking little to none at all now if you were walking 3 days a week before? How's your diet? How's your sleep? What's it going like in your friendships and your relationships? If you're married, if you have kids, just looking at those little signs to see what the change is. And is that a sign of stress? Is that a sign of illness? Is it a sign that you need to come see a doctor for something? What is it that's going on in your world that maybe you're seeing those little changes that you're like, I don't feel the same as I used to. What's really going on here?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the first thing that we look at for sure.
And I think it's harder to identify than you realize because typically it's such a slow onset.
Yeah.
Unless there's a major trigger, which then it's a little bit more obvious. But I know in the past for me, it's been such a slow, steady build that like all of a sudden you're like, I don't feel like I can even put my finger on why I'm feeling like this.
Right.
And so it does take a little bit of like kind of sleuthing. Say, wait a minute, let me see if I can back up a little bit. I mean, it happens to everybody. I mean, at any point in time.
It's the pile-on. It's like you said, it's like one thing after another, and it just keeps adding up and adding up.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's not always just a traumatic event, as they like to say in the mental health world, a triggering event, whatever it may be. It could be just that slow effect as it builds and builds and builds. And then that last thing seems really traumatic. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm at this point now. Now what do I do?
Right. And it feels like, why am I so upset about this like one thing? Or how is this affecting me this much?
Right.
And it was also the other things, the straw that broke the camel's back, all of the different, phrases that we can have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This is something that I'm really, really, I see this a lot in my practice with my patients that are dealing with pain.
Right.
And all of the other things that then happen. And so anytime we're working on, okay, how can we get into that active lifestyle? How can we start with getting more movement into your day? Maybe even having enough space to think about nutrition, think about mental health. It just takes time to like kind of figure out, where am I going to start? So if this is a point where it's like, okay, I'm actually ready to think about my mental health. One, I mean, you can obviously work with a mental health counselor, but
right.
I think doing some of the strategies that Sarah's talking about of, well, let me kind of do some sleuthing on my own. So what are like other things that you would typically give as an exercise to kind of help people identify?
So we live in a world that already we feel all the pressure, especially as moms. We feel a lot of pressure for those of us that have kiddos to like have everything right. Um, but I always ask about social media and how much you're on your phone. It's just something that even 10 years ago now, I wouldn't have to have asked that question. So
Yeah.
because I'm thinking even then, like Instagram and Facebook were really just kind of getting big. We didn't have TikTok. We didn't have this infiltration of videos and information that you're seeing how everybody else is living. You're seeing how everybody else is doing it. And that's a lot. Like there's even days where I'm like, wow, should I really be like this mom? Should I have this all together for my kids? And it's just unrealistic. You really are seeing the highlight reel. I know it's a phrase that people use all the time, but asking ourselves, what are we putting into our minds? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it realistic? Or is it just something that's nice to watch? We really have to be careful about what we're inputting
Yes.
because that, on top of the pile that Jess was already talking about, that's just another layer right there of that pressure.
Hmm. I mean, and again, like I notice this happens to myself, right? So even if you're just like just looking through and all of a sudden you see
Doom
like,
scrolling
oh,
that they
right.
come.
And then like you're like, oh man, like I wonder if my kid's after school program is enough or,
Mhm.
like, and I'm like, what are you saying? Like,
Right.
get over your like negative self-talk.
Well, we were just
Like,
talking about birthday parties too. Like, I feel like the expectation, even because we all have kids' birthdays around the same time, it's like, no, I'm just going to grill hamburgers and hot dogs like he's two. It's going to be okay.
right. Yeah.
And being like, I'm still a good mom, like, even if it's not like this extravagant, like, big thing.
Right. It doesn't
So,
have to be. It's whatever works for you and your family, which is different than somebody else.
hmm
And I think that's like one of the things that I've worked on for myself, but then also something that we work on here in the clinic is
right.
just that acceptance of like, I am me. I am
hmm
my own individual and what works for me, my physiology, my mental health, my whatever, insert blank
Right.
is mine, not somebody else's. And I don't care what your neighbor or friend or whatever person so whoever told you what works for them, which is why you have to do it their way. It
Right.
doesn't that I also hear all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was just thinking too from the male perspective, like just thinking about the like our husbands and different things. Like I think for that side of it, it's the stuff that they see. So we feel the pressure to perform, right?
oh
But
yeah.
when I have like my male clients, or I'm sure it's the same for you,
Hmm.
it's not just about the looks or the performance. It's like about the different things that they have, right? So like my husband will send me, "Oh my gosh, I want this and this for the family." It's kind of like the overall look. And so
Yeah.
that stress in and of itself for both men and women is definitely there
Hmm.
with that just society pressure, the social media pressure on top of everything else.
Hmm.
So it's like who's going to be the best? That really is on that side of it.
Of
If
course.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like we have this natural drive for competition.
Mhm.
So some of us are more competitive than others,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's got different personality types. I think it's a matter of like stepping back and saying, what is my intention?
Mhm.
And I think that's like something I ask myself on the regular is
Yeah.
like, what is my intention with the run this morning? Right? Is
Right.
my intention to beat myself up for not running fast enough?
Mhm.
Or is my intention to take care of my body and my brain?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can be slower today because my intention is to take care of my body and my body feels tired.
You could have a whole
Like,
podcast episode on the stress of a runner and the pressure that y'all put on
I treat a
yourselves to
lot of
perform.
runners. It's this constant battle of because you have goals. Like you
Mhm.
have and working towards goals is a good thing. It keeps
Right.
you focused, it helps hold you accountable. There's a lot of positive things to goals. And giving yourself grace on the journey to reaching a goal
Mhm.
is also its own journey.
And
You know?
I think that's another big
Yeah.
thing too, in just bringing it back to that stress of when clients come to me. I'm trying to think of how to word this. I'm picturing myself sitting in front of my client. Are your goals even realistic? Like,
Sure.
are the standards, your beliefs, your values, all of those things are a huge foundation to who we are just naturally. But is it too much for you? Is it realistic? Or do we need to just look at one or two things to be working on or removing one or two things
Hmm.
to make that stress level just a little bit smaller and start working towards you can relax your shoulders a little bit, right? You're not feeling that tension in your neck and all those other
Right.
things that you probably see physically a lot with your
Oh,
clients.
all the time. And I see it with myself. I can tell when it's like when I'm thinking about, because I mentally prepare for my day. So I look at my schedule, I check,
Mhm.
got a couple schedules I need to check. And I can tell when I'm looking at that and my shoulders
Mhm.
are coming up, right?
Yeah.
I can feel the tension in my neck. I can feel my jaw start to clench a little bit. And I'm like, huh, okay, that's a physical sign of stress. And I haven't even started my day. Is, th- is it that I'm perceiving this? Because
Mhm.
sometimes it,
We can have different types of stress going on, right? So that's why I think we were talking about this the other day. There's
mm,
healthy stress
uh-huh,
and unhealthy stress.
right.
So there's nothing wrong with our schedules being busy or putting pressure on ourselves as long as it's not going past that line.
Right.
So that's where that boundary comes in of, again, is it realistic? Is it healthy? Is it helping myself? And if you have a family or whoever else around you, is it helping us move forward? Or is this taken away from the day to day? And
Mhm.
in the end, your lifespan. Is
For
it taking
sure.
years off of you?
Right. And this is part of what we talked about last week is the actual physiology of stress and what that
Hmm.
does for like your glucose levels and your inflammation levels and all the things that actually cause significant harm to our organs and which lead to chronic illnesses. And so if you want to learn a little bit more about the physiology, check out the episode that last week.
Hmm.
We talked with a dietitian who does functional practice. It was really interesting. But then this week is really kind of tackling a little bit more of the mental health side of how do we one recognize stress, but then what do we do from a mental health perspective to help to manage that?
Right.
And I will definitely tell you that it's always a practice. Whether you're working on mindfulness, you're working on stress identification strategies,
Mm.
management strategies. It's always a practice, and you're never really ever perfect because it can always get better. Um, but let's talk about so now that we kind of better recognize how to identify.
Yeah.
We've got the physical signs of stress, jaw clenching, furrow clenching, headaches, chronic neck pain, especially by the end of the day, or when you think about something and then all of a sudden you get a headache.
Yeah. And even one
Like,
thing too is your physical appearance. Like I notice a difference when my clients come in and then as they start releasing those things, like your facial, like you look different. You look
mhm,
different. Just your whole appearance
yeah.
just it can even be different from, everything that you were
Oh,
just talking about.
big time.
Yeah.
And when you let go of one thing, it's almost like you feel like you can take a breath.
Mhm.
It's like,
Literally.
okay, that felt good to get that off my plate.
Mhm.
So that's a great identifier that might not be the best thing to be on the
Yeah.
plate. And sometimes it's the simplest thing. I mean, I've like we were doing this thing where I was like trying to work on some diagnostic ultrasound skills and it's really interesting and I really like it. It'd be good to add to the practice, but I need to study a significant amount to like pass these exams. And so I had the study group that I met 1 hour once a week. It pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
That 1 hour was like I wasn't having dinner with my family. That was that one day a week that I was, not able to get my exercise in.
Mhm.
It just it was too much.
Yeah.
So, and the just when my friend was like, if that came off, how would you feel? And it was like,
That's a great question.
right. And I was
Yeah.
like, amazing.
Yeah.
She was like, hmm, that's a good sign. I might need to come off. But
Yeah.
if you just visualize, if I didn't have that one thing, if you feel lighter, you can take a breath, it's like, was it time sensitive? Do I have to do it right now?
Yeah, and
No.
that's a great way to start once you've identified is actually sitting back and visualizing, taking that minute and seeing physically, looking at my schedule, if this was removed. Or even if it wasn't something completely removed, let's say you used to work out for an hour, switching it just to 30 minutes, right? Or setting that alarm 30 minutes earlier so you have some quiet time to yourself, right? Looking at those different things that you can move in or out of your routine or just shift the times on
Hmm.
could go
Oh,
ahead and just absolutely change everything for you. And that could be all
absolutely.
you need to do.
30 minutes will make or break me.
Yeah.
It is like that 30 minutes that will make or break whether I get my exercise in for the day.
Yeah.
It'll make or break whether we get bedtime done on time. It'll like it is like it really because we are so stacked because of that's just the way our lives are right
Mhm.
now. I've got two kids, like, and they all need to be somewhere every day at different times.
Right.
I'm running a business. I've got to work. So it's my me time. I don't have 30 minutes to give.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, and one of the things I was just sharing with some clients yesterday is a lot of these moments where you can take that step back and visualize whatever it is you need to remove or just having time just to literally breathe. I
mhm,
always say if you have that moment in your car, go hide in a closet. I have a lot of clients that do that. It literally can take 2 to 3 minutes of
mhm,
sitting back, just taking some deep breaths in and out and being like, what is my next best move right now? What is going to help me refocus,
mhm.
reset to where I'm not, as we talked about, surviving, that I'm actually thriving?
Yeah.
Because honestly, nobody wants to deal with us when we're in survival mode.
No, it's not fun.
No.
So it's like the way I've got my schedule now, it's so like it's so regimented
Mhm.
because I work me in.
Yeah.
If anything's gonna give on if something has to
Right.
give, I can't take away from my kids. I
No.
can't tell patients like, "Oh, I'm sorry, not today." Right? So what's gonna give?
Yeah.
Me.
Right.
And so that's why I'm like, "No, I don't have 30 minutes to give
Mhm.
because I'm giving away me."
Yeah.
And so and that's a boundary that I had to learn.
Yeah.
I had to learn it. And it's hard because, you want to please other people. You want to say yes. You want to say, oh, of course, you can come over and play at
Mhm.
7 o'clock at night.
Right?
I'm like, no, no, we can't have a play date at
Yeah, I
seven
don't
o'clock at
do good at
night.
last minute.
No,
Mm-mm.
like, because it's like you can see where, okay, my downtime is once the kids go to bed.
Right.
So if they go to bed late, well, either I go to bed late, but that doesn't work because then I'm tired the next day. But then I don't
Mhm.
get my, like, I need that quiet,
Mhm.
right? I need that quiet time at the end of the night.
Right.
So if I start it too late, then I'm either going to lose sleep or I don't have that, which helps me kind of have
Right.
that, like, chill.
And I think, like you said, setting the intention, I think sometimes, and this is kind of another social media thing that I've seen, especially on Instagram, is when people talk about that me time, they're not intentional enough about it.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about setting the intention and is huge in after you figure out the why of, okay, what's my next step? So giving yourself those time frames. So even if you're still trying to get out of that survival mode and looking at what you need to do, give yourself a time frame to be stressed, but then also give yourself that same amount of time just to be,
Right.
like how Jess was talking about at the end of her night.
Yeah. No, and I label it. Like,
Yeah,
because I'm
you
type
have to.
A and I schedule everything and I time block and I'm efficient and I'm like, I know, I really am. And I own
And
it.
a very
Yeah.
good nerd.
100%, I own it. Accept who you are.
Yes, we all
Um,
are in our own ways,
yes.
so.
But it's actually like it is called relax time. It is
No, I like
labeled.
that.
It has a name.
Mhm.
And we are not allowed to do anything other than relax
Yeah.
when we have relax time. I'm
Well,
not allowed to open my computer.
that's good.
Like it's like our phones are not out. Like it is like my husband and I, we sit together. Like
Mhm.
it's dim lighting because I don't like the lights on, and we just either watch a show, we talk, whatever.
Right.
But we are not allowed to be productive
Mhm.
during relax time,
I like that. I
right?
like that, not being productive.
Nope, not
Because
allowed.
because at the same time, as I would say in mental health, is you are being productive
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's intentional relax time,
Right.
right? So it's helping you get the rest of your day, your evening, the rest of your week,
Mm-hmm.
dealing with clients or whatever else you have
You're
going on.
recharged. You're
Yes,
ready to
absolutely
go the next
recharging.
day.
Yeah.
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 And I think that's like I notice for me, I need an hour and a half at the end
Mm,
of the day. An hour is too little.
yeah.
My husband needs 5 minutes.
My husband needs 45 minutes. He's like, give me my 45 minutes.
He's like,
Yeah,
"Sit
everybody's
down.
different.
I'm cool." And he can like pass out,
He is.
be
He's super
asleep.
chill.
Oh, he's so chill. I think that's why we're married.
We balance each
We do
other out.
balance each other. But I need longer
Mhm.
to just like chill, relax, not think. But I'm on all day and he's
Right.
not. So
True.
I'm with people all day long. And I think there's a difference to that.
I agree.
And
I agree.
so I am ready to go the next day. I mean, my 8:30 a.m. appointment, I'm like, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How's it going? Because I recovered. I
Right.
recovered from the previous day.
Yep.
And I've learned that about myself, and I learned the hard way because I wouldn't fall asleep well. That was a sign that I was
Sleep is
not,
a huge sign.
yeah, just wasn't dealing with my stress very well. And so it's like I'm tired, I'm physically tired, but it would take me forever to fall asleep.
Mhm.
Or if I did fall asleep, then in the morning it was like punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Like it was like I'm groggy, I didn't feel ready to go. I'm like, what is my problem? I've been in bed long enough.
Well, and
I
then
did my 8 hours.
that's kind of when that spiral starts. The sleep, the eating, the not exercising, then you
Mhm.
want to say yes, but then you say no to events last minute, canceling like that really is kind of where it
Mhm.
snowballs
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, you're not then all of a sudden it's like I'm not getting out for my regular runs.
Mhm.
I'm not doing my exercise. For me, I lose my appetite. Other
Yep.
people I think gain appetite. Everybody's a little bit different, but I can tell if lunchtime comes and I'm like, I don't even feel like eating.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Something's not right here.
That I need to check myself.
Yeah, and that's a
Like,
great point to bring up is once you start taking that step back and then you can notice those triggers or those warning signs
mhm,
so that in the future, because like we've talked about, stress is never going to go away. As we can continue to develop throughout our life, whether you're young or whether you're aging, which we're all aging. I don't even know why I said, I don't know why I said that way.
yeah,
But as you continue to get older, our bodies change, our brains change, we continue to develop. You might have to adjust as you continue to get older, right? And what works and what doesn't work for you anymore. Um, so I think that's another good point of being able to adjust that, being able to see those warning signs of, oh wait, I don't feel like eating. What do I need to look at?
right.
What do I need to look at in
Mhm,
my schedule? What did something happen last night? Did I not sleep well? Did the morning not start off right?
right.
So that you don't spiral like you have before with
Exactly.
stress.
Right. And as we know, it can be managed.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
It really can. And I think step one is identifying, like,
Hmm.
is this what it is? From there, using tools and strategies of, is it people in your
Yeah, that
life?
too. We didn't even talk about that, but yes, people in
That's,
your life for sure.
I don't know about you. I think that's sometimes the hardest one. Um,
It is.
because your schedule you can do something about, there's sometimes where I think it's trickier when
Well, I also think it depends on personality.
that's
You and
true.
I are different in the sense of I don't have a like if I don't want to deal with somebody anymore at this point in
Uh-huh.
my life, I don't.
Right.
I won't even respond to text, which some people think is rude, but
Uh-huh.
to me, I'm like at such a point of if you're not adding value to my life, aka to my family's life, because
Right.
that is who I am, is myself
Oh,
and
yeah,
my family,
absolutely. Yeah.
or it's not helping me move further along and it
Mhm.
doesn't line up with my values, then I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
You're not as confrontational in that way, which
Right.
is fine. And that's why I'm
Yeah.
saying we're all different. We all handle these things in different ways. And that's okay as long as it's healthy, as long as it's not
Right.
harming anybody else.
Mhm.
Right.
Absolutely. And it can feel sometimes, and this is where like you can feel almost obligatory.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that I've had to again work on
Right.
with myself of like, wait a minute. Am I giving up some of myself, which is time, my family time,
Hmm.
whatever it might be, to be available to somebody that it's not reciprocal,
Right.
it's not
Yeah, that's a
helpful,
perfect.
it's like, wait a minute.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
and for me again, that was a hard lesson because you don't want to disappoint somebody, but at the same time you're like, wait a minute, like I'm going to pay a high price for this,
Right.
you
I
know?
also think that's a mom thing too, though. Like, I
Mm,
think as women,
yeah.
sometimes in general, from that perspective, we kind of feel that pressure
Hmm.
that we always like need to be there and available. And that's just not true.
It's not. It really
So
isn't. It really isn't.
as I've gotten older, I've realized that.
Yeah, I've had multiple people over the years, especially after having kids, it's a little bit different,
Mm.
that there's this expectation that you are just readily available, right?
Yeah.
And you're not.
Yeah,
Just
that's
sometimes
something.
you're not.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
something my husband has had to help me with, like, too, in processing this and removing stress or people from my life is it's okay.
Mhm.
It's like you have to
Yeah.
this is something else I use with my clients. Is it gonna matter an hour from now? Is it gonna matter a day from now, a month from now, a year from now? Whatever time frames you need to use, sometimes you really have to ask yourself that question in removing these different stressors, whether it's people, whether it's things from your schedule, whatever it may be. Is it going to matter for your life? And again, the question we've been asking from day one, is it adding years or taking
Taking away.
years away from your
Right.
life?
Mm.
So,
At the end of the day, if it's taking away, you got to find a way for it to go.
mm,
I mean, and that's where I think putting up those boundaries is
yeah.
important. And I think sometimes people misconfuse boundaries rules of engagement. They're different. So
Yes.
it's not like these are the rules to be able to talk to me.
Yeah.
Different. What are your boundaries? What is your, I can't go past this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think identifying it realistically is important. And
Yes.
that's an exercise in itself of
Right.
like, what do I need? Not what do I want? What do I need?
Correct.
And that has to stay firm.
Mm.
It just does.
Or else you're going to get stressed and explode.
Really, I see it all. I mean, I see this all day long
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it can be something as simple as, you know, if you change the surface you sit on at home, like your back would
Yeah.
probably feel better. Oh no, no, my spouse wouldn't go for that.
Yeah. Do you want to respond to that or do you want me and my way to respond to that?
Right. Uh,
Ah. It's
okay.
it's kind of like, then what are we
Like,
doing? Right.
right. Like if like you can't even have like a personal safety health boundary.
Right.
Like then we've got I'm writing the referral.
Yeah, right.
That's a like okay.
Yeah.
Because that is really, really important. It's really important to say,
Mhm.
like, I am my own person and I
100%.
have things that I need, like
Yes.
food, shelter, safety. Okay. Outside of that, I actually have other needs other than that. That's like
Yeah.
the
That's the
basic,
bare minimum. That's why it's
like,
at the bottom
right. But
of it.
we do go up this like needs that are still considered needs.
Well, and I love that you brought that up because how you framed that in that I have needs and this is having a different surface for that client
Mm-hmm.
was a huge need.
Huge.
So
Yeah.
in the same way, in that you deserve that. And as you're going through this process, being kind to yourself in that way and reframing the thoughts of, well, maybe I could still, no, reframe it into, I cannot handle this and it is okay.
Right.
Right? I need
Right.
to rearrange this and we're still going to have a great day.
Mm-hmm.
I need to wake up 30 minutes earlier and by the end of the day, I'm going to feel that much better that I had that me time.
Right.
So that mindset piece of it is so key about what your needs are and being realistic with that. And then saying, this is okay. It's okay to not be okay, but let's figure out what I can do to slowly get back to that okay meter
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. And so I think, the takeaways, from when we talk about stress, identifying, is that what you're feeling? And then making the plan for what do I do about it? And that plan can look a lot of different ways
Yes.
because everybody's, whatever that boundary is, whatever that change is going to look different. And I think the big challenge is not comparing your plan to somebody else's plan.
100%. Meet yourself where you're at. In the same way
Yeah.
that you and I always talk about meeting our clients where they're at.
Right.
Meet yourself where you're at. Give
Yeah.
yourself that grace. Give
Mhm.
yourself that kindness that this isn't going to be overnight. This is going to take time. It took time for it to pile up, right? So I'm not saying it's going to take the same amount of time to de-stress,
Right.
but it still is going to take time and you do need to give yourself grace and being okay with that.
And guess what?
What?
You're going to mess up.
Yes. Yes. Daily.
Yeah.
And it can still be a good day.
Yes.
Again, that's that reframe
Mm-hmm.
portion, right? Because like we said, stress isn't going to go away. It's still going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
However, we're going to learn what we can tolerate, what we need to remove. And in the future, we can talk about different skills in the sense of, okay, now that I've done this, when this comes up again, how am I going to handle it?
Right.
What am I going to do differently to where I'm not tense and exploding and angry and crabby and
Right.
all the other things we feel when we're stressed?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I live in a glass house and I throw rocks every day.
At yourself?
And I just throw them, right? Because, like, apparently I just need to learn a lot, you
Yeah,
know?
we both
Um,
do.
but that is life.
It
It
is.
is. And every single time you throw that stone and it actually hits something, you're like, well, rats.
Yeah.
If you take the time to figure out why did that not do what I thought it was going to do,
Mhm.
that is the journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is when you learn the most. It's just like when you take a test. The number one thing I've gotten out of any single test I've taken is when I do the test review and I review what I missed. That's when I learn the most.
Mm,
I find my weaknesses.
right.
And so I learn more from my weaknesses and filling in my
Absolutely.
gaps than constantly highlighting what I'm strong with.
Right.
So, like, it's the same thing with anything you try. If it doesn't work,
Try something
try
else.
something else. But why did it not work? What's the why behind it? If you can find that, then today's a win,
Yeah.
right?
They say it takes 21 days to form a new habit. I'm kind of hit or miss with that, but my thing is at least try something for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
But you have to be consistent with it. We're not talking about, yeah, I tried it today. Well, of course it's not going to like work or you're not going to be able to tell if it was efficient or not for
right,
you
right.
because you just tried it for like 1 or 2 days here and there. Like, no, if you're really wanting to remove stressors from your life or just be able to breathe a little bit better, with your day to day, then really try something for 14 days consistently.
Mhm.
And then, like you said, if it works, great. If not, come back to the drawing table and try something else.
I always remind myself there is a solution. There is. It can't not be. Anything really can be figured out. It might not be the solution you want.
Right.
I get that answer sometimes. I'm like, "Well, this isn't the one that I wanted, but I am now gonna be realistic with myself that
Hmm.
this is the solution." And that takes a little time to, like, process that and
Hmm.
think, "Okay, and that's okay
Yes.
because it's just gonna take me a different way than what I was expecting." Almost every time, once you
Hmm.
make that shift, it's like way better things end up happening.
Oh, yeah, for
You know,
sure.
it's that, like, initial, like, like, resistance to change,
Yes.
and then when you make it and you implement it, it's like, "My gosh,
Right.
well, this is so much better than had expected. This is crazy." So,
Right.
it usually if it's the right decision and it's the right thing for you, like, everything really starts rolling.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
does.
Absolutely.
Doesn't make life easy. Life is not easy.
No, it was never promised to be easy.
No,
So,
right. It just
and
makes it tolerable
it
and
makes it tolerable. It
yeah.
makes the struggle worth it. You have to realize, even if it's difficult and you're kind of resisting things, the struggle is normal. And
Yeah.
I think it needs to be more normalized that as you're changing, there is still going to be a struggle.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to that healthy or unhealthy, right? The struggle, if you're moving towards de stressing and going from surviving to thriving, is going to be more of a healthy struggle than letting that stress still pile up onto you.
Yeah. You can't
So,
stay there.
right.
It's never gonna go well. And as we know, it does lead to eventually like organ breakdown, like preventable illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's like it's real. And
It's very
so
real.
and does that take years? It does. And like we have all like once you start in the working world and you've got like responsibilities that are real, it can be all of a sudden a decade goes by.
I know. And
Like I mean like
I
that.
don't want to waste any more years.
No.
So,
Like
I know we've all been through things and the time that I look at, I don't want to lose more lose more years from stress that can be preventable. Obviously, there are plenty of things out of our control that we know, but if we can set ourselves up for success in the sense of looking at our routine, looking at how we talk to ourselves and what our mindset is, finding that time for yourself, whatever it is, not doom scrolling as much on social media, to prevent those input messages that are more negative than they are positive. All of these things can help with that pile on. Just be a little bit less.
yeah. Yep.
So
and then we can manage it.
Mhm.
And then it's like, yeah, it's hard, but like at the end of the day, you're like, I still feel good. Like, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
do this. Have your relaxed time. You wake up the next morning, you're like, all right, let's do it again.
Mhm.
Right. So the day is still busy. It's still hard. It's still full.
Yes.
And you're like, I know mentally I can do it.
Right.
Right.
Right. You can be
Like,
good and tired at the end of the day.
oh, you should be tired.
Yes.
That's the earned tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There's a difference between tired and exhausted.
Right. Yeah. When you're like falling asleep sitting up. Okay. A little
Yes.
much. A little much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, Sarah, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for
I
having me.
love talking about this kind of stuff
I know
because
you and I could go on for
it's,
hours.
yes, it's so important,
It is.
really important stuff.
It
And
is.
so, as much as we can raise awareness when we're talking about longevity, about it's all the things that we don't necessarily give enough credit to that are
Absolutely.
big, big, big factors
Mhm.
in our physiologies doing what we want them to do for a long period of time.
Yep. Yep.
All right, well, stay tuned for next week. If there's anybody in your life that you'd like to share this episode with, please feel free to do so. That's why we've got this on a bunch of different platforms. And stay on the journey with us.